Hello everyone. This is my film about Macbeth. It's split into 6 scenes, but I must warn you, things do get a little bit scary. But overall, it's really good to enjoy. Here we have the witches talking about when they shall meet again, thunder, lightning, or rain. And obviously they're talking about Macbeth's prophecy and how he's going to become the future king and Thane of Corridor. And obviously they disappear into nothingness because they're the Wood Sisters and they have some weird magic. But Dobby Films presents the story of Macbeth by me. This is scene 1 as the battle between Macbeth's army and the other army rages on. This is also how Macbeth becomes Thane of Corridor. But here I try to represent a kind of little bit of an accurate scene of the battle. Here you have Banquo shooting his little Nerf gun. Sorry, I couldn't find anything else. And after this, and here we have the witches meeting Macbeth. So this is the first time that Macbeth's met the Weird Sisters, and here we have Macbeth getting the prophecy from the witches, and obviously Banquo wants to know his prophecy too. So Banquo asks about his prophecy, and they tell him that he'll be greater but lesser than Macbeth. And here is the king, obviously very pleased from the report of the battle from Macbeth, and he's with his ambassadors to consult whether he should make him Thane of Corridor. And he comes to the conclusion that he shall, and he sends one of his ambassadors. Here we have Macbeth with the Weird Sisters receiving the letter and reading it that he's just become Thane of Corridor. He now realises that the witches may be right. So he writes to Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth isn't as nice, but you'll come to see that. So he starts writing and he sends it off. So here's Lady Macbeth receiving the letter. And I must warn you, in this clip, a wild hand appears. Now, these are very violent creatures, as you will soon find out. But here, yes, you can see the violent hand coming out and spinning accidentally Mrs. Macbeth around, but it's fine, it's good for the camera angle. And here you have Macbeth and Lady Macbeth discussing their evil plans to overthrow the king. And here you also have another little shot, and afterwards Lady Macbeth finally managed to persuade Macbeth to kill the king. And here you have it, the slow, painful process. And here you have the king dead on the floor. Now, I must say it's going to get really sad from here. So Lady Macbeth blames it on the servants. So everyone thinks that the two sons, represented by these little cars, killed their father. So they had to fled the kingdom because they were wanted, since everyone thought that they had killed their father. And this is really sad, and I don't think Macbeth realises what he's done. And here we have the beautiful moonlight capture, but that's not part of the film. You don't need to worry, because if you didn't capture that in Macbeth. But anyway, here we have Macduff here grieving about the loss. So I'm gonna go quiet. Now, after that really sad moment of the grieving of his family, we have the two assassins going after Banquo, and they're sent from Macbeth, and he has his son with him. And Macbeth was jealous that his son would soon become king, or will be the future king anyway. They kill Banquo and come back with the hard evidence of his blood. Luckily, Flancy, his son, manages to escape, and you'll soon see him very soon. But Macbeth is obviously very pleased with his evidence and goes to dinner with all the lords and ladies. He starts talking to them, and then he asks them where he shall sit, and they all point to this one area in the table. This is like the only area, and obviously Mr. Skeleton Man just stays there. But here you have Banquo's ghost at his seat, covered in blood, and you can see Macbeth with his hands on his head, obviously worried because Banquo is after him. And Lady Macbeth tries to calm him down, but the thought of Banquo, he can't. This is Macduff preparing his battle. You have the feet. They're also a very violent creature, but when you get them under control, they can be quite useful. But there's Lady Macbeth going to suicide, and wait for it. Yes, and after that very amusing and sad moment, Lady Macbeth dies, and Macbeth, obviously unscathed of this news, prepares his army for battle as well, as he talks to his army as well. And this is also very worrying because Lady Macbeth and Macbeth had a very strong relationship, but here is Macbeth going into battle, consulting with the other commander, Macduff, and you can see the feet in the background. But here's the battle scene with overturned people and cars, and here's the three witches observing from the sky, and this is a huge battle scene. And then Macduff challenges him, and they have a battle. And just as Macbeth was gonna go in for the final blow of poor Macbeth was gonna go in for the final blow, this happened. And here you have it, distracted, Macduff takes a final blow and Macbeth dies. And Macduff here is celebrating. Flancy is crowned king, and he's on his little throne. And here's a little goodbye from Mr. Skeleton Man. And the three witches are what started it. So the moral of the story is, just don't listen to the Weird Sisters. Thank you for listening to the story of Macbeth. Here's kind of a little credits area. And this is the end. Thank you, and here's also a nice little dance from the Skeleton Man. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.